Chris, we talked a lot at the beginning of the year about kind of perimeter ball pressure on defense and things. I mean, just the way that your guys got into them as the game went along, is that the effort that you need to see? And
for sure, I thought, when you play this team with the way they play, containing the ball is the most important thing. I thought we were really good. Upped our physicality, kind of stood them up when they were coming downhill, and tried to win that battle as many times as we could. And our guys were great as the game went on. They got more and more physical too, which I liked. So.
In terms of the way that you guys were generating shots and like the ball movement, especially second and third quarters, like what do you see your team doing even when the shots aren't falling right now to just keep the offense going and get good looks?
We're playing with a quick mindset. We're making quick decisions. We've established really good spacing. I think it's really helped our passing. Put a big focus on just passing, being a better passing team, and all the facets that lead into that. And we're taking care of the ball. We're getting good shots nearly every single time down, and we've done a really good job over the last couple of weeks of taking care of the ball. So.
And seemed to drive the bus on a lot of little good things tonight. Yeah. Off-ball activity, offensively, low man responsibility, defensively, all that kind of stuff. How much better is this team when he does kind of lead the charge in all of those areas? For sure.
I mean, he's exponentially. We know what he does in the big things, but he's really settling in, kind of his point guard mentality, but still maintaining his aggressiveness and. Figuring out ways to get his teammates involved, and whether it be with the screening off the ball, I think he's done a good job with that, or just calling their number, just kind of keeping it simple. And I thought his defense has been great the last few games too. Really locked in, survived foul trouble tonight, but at least he got those fouls trying to be physical.
Jaden tonight, especially in the third quarter, seemed to really call his own number and kind of put that pressure on the defense. Just how big of a difference is it when Jaden's playing like confident like that on offense?
It's huge. I mean, it's coming out of the holiday period. It was a priority to get Jaden back in the mix offensively, whether it be play calls or just kind of finding him in the flow a little bit more, and he's really responded there. So, we can't let him kind of go missing inside of our own team, and that's on me. But I think his teammates are doing a really good job of finding him.
Rudy's defense has been elite for a while now, but he seems to have expanded the space on the floor he owns. How do you work around that as the other four guys on the court? I mean, how does that help, but also create adjustments?
Big emphasis coming into this season with Rudy being more patient with his spacing. I think he's doing a great job of kind of just letting things happen in front of him. He's always been a good initiator with his screening, but just kind of when he's at the bottom of the floor waiting for things to unfold, and he has such great gravity that it kind of opens up a lot of things and also helps him on the offensive glass. He's better positioned down there. So I think we trust him all over the floor, whether it be at the top or the bottom, and he's really responded well to it. But it's really been his patience at the bottom of the floor, I think.
And on defense, his awareness. I mean, he seems to be kind of doing like what Jalen Clark and Vando. I mean, he seems to not quit on a play. More. I mean, these are things. He's like a 12-year veteran or something.
Sure.
He seems to be expanding his game that way.
Yeah, I think. There's a lot of what I see with Rudy right now. It's a lot of high-level reads. He'll cover for somebody. He'll get back to his own, and then he'll come back and make a late challenge. He'll be really kind of at the perfect time, call the switch, and then be aggressive. Things that we when we know he's playing like this, like he's on a one-man wrecking crew in there. So
you mentioned how you want to get kind of Jaden going after the holiday break, and at various times throughout the season, you mentioned you have to get Dante more shots and things like that. What is kind of the balance of trying to make sure everybody starting lineup, Nas, has kind of their full complement of looks and shots. And
Well, I
what's
think
the challenge of
if
that?
we just, keep making the right play, trusting the offense, those shots will fall with a pretty even distribution or how we want them. And then, we can call a number to direct the ball wherever we need to. What I like, Dante obviously had been in a little bit of a slump. He breaks out of it tonight in a big way, which we know that he's capable of. But throughout his shooting struggles of late, the volume is up. And that's what I like. He's taking a lot of the right shots, and when you do that, they're going to go in. Everybody's touching the ball. I think our guys are playing real well. Like all three bigs are playing outstanding basketball, and I was a little worried that I didn't or should have gone back to Nas. Thought he might get cold, and maybe he did a little bit, but they're all playing so well. It's a luxury to have, but got to make sure that I don't ice my own guys. So.
Because you're talking about Rudy's offensive rebound. We've been talking about Rudy's offensive rebounding being a force for this team. Offensive rebounding is just kind of up across the league. It seems like there's been a shift in being more intentional about attacking the offensive glass. What have you made out of that?
Well, I mean, it's definitely up. I think there's several reasons why. One is the possession game is so important right now. You got to win all these marginal battles. It stops teams from running. Everyone's running. So if you go to the glass in numbers, it keeps the defense kind of pinned in a little bit. Boxing out is a lost art. Just all these things point to the fact that you should be way more aggressive on the offensive glass. So,
what's led to this offensive evolution? It seems like over the past few weeks of Ant's bringing the ball up the court, then he's playing a lot more off ball. Seems to be getting more comfortable and confident with it, and it just seems like everything's flowing really well. What kind of sparked that transition?
Well, I think having Bones and Mike in there has allowed us to kind of move Ant off ball more, mix it up, get to some of the things that he really likes off the ball that we haven't really been able to. So it gives us another dimension. Playing more through Julius like we know we need to, just taking that burden off Ant a bit. And just kind of letting everybody kind of create and initiate enough offense that they feel like they're in the flow. And again, it's just about making a commitment to passing. That's what we've done. So.
It's been 2 games now in a row where you guys have been able to kind of empty the bench out at the end of the game. How valuable is that, when you're not maybe working with Johan as much one-on-one, to see him just out there on the court?
Every minute for a guy like Johan is valuable. I think, he's what he's doing down in the G League right now is super exciting. Man, to have him come up here and just, in the short minutes that he gets, make an impact, and that's what you want. He's doing his homework, and he's getting good grades.